guys for coming today. Today I'm going to talk to you about all the great time to lose my face. I'm going to talk to you today about all the internships that I've had in my professional experience and how it's helped me learn what I want to do and what I don't want to do. It's important for you to listen to me today because I'm going to share personal tips, secrets, and advice on how to land your dream internship. Believe it or not, internships are a crucial part of your education no matter what field you plan to go into. I'm credible to speak to you today because I am a student just like you, and I've held 8 internships over my 4 years of college. I originally started off at Quinnipiac University 4 years ago as a health science major. I wanted to be a chiropractor. I was really interested in health and nutrition. I'm still interested in health and nutrition and the well-being of the body, but it wasn't what I loved. And throughout my classes, it wasn't invigorating. I didn't like it. I wasn't interested. And so I realized that you have to do what you love and what interests you. So I was actually in lab one day. It was maybe my second week of classes. I was cutting open a worm, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm cutting open a worm right now. I was really grossed out by it. So the next day I went, I changed my major, and I realized I wanted to do public relations. I'm interested in fashion, so public relations goes hand in hand with fashion. I took a course, it was a half-semester course, learning about how to apply for internships, how to gain experience, how to send out resumes, and it really enlightened me. And I realized all the opportunities that I was passing up by being in Connecticut. So I moved home, and I told my mom about a week before I was supposed to go back to school from winter break. So I didn't really have many options on where to go to school. Last minute, Montclair was able to take me. They had a transfer day right before break ended. And so I went there. It wasn't my first choice, so I transferred to Stack, and now I'm a commuter. It's close to home, and it's close to the city, which are the benefits of going here, as you guys know. You may ask what fashion PR is. It's very similar to general public relations. You need to send samples of clothing out to editors and stylists and celebrities so that they can be featured in magazines, worn on the red carpet. You just want to gain publicity for the brand. What I learned throughout my experiences of transferring is that life begins outside your comfort zone. I was really comfortable at Quinnipiac. I had many friends. It was my home for a year and a half, but it was prohibiting me from doing what I would need to do to gain a job in the fashion world. Considering it's extremely competitive, I knew that I needed to start early. So life really does begin at the end of your comfort zone. You always have to think about your comfort zone, and yeah, it's nice, but it's not going anywhere. So how many internships have I really had? 8. I've worked at 5 fashion brands, 1 public relations agency, a trade show company, and I've actually considered my coursework at Stack to be an internship. My first internship was before I even went to Quinnipiac. Right after I graduated high school, I got this internship through my dad. He did some contracting work at the company, and he thought it'd be a great fit for me to start interning to see if I liked what I was doing. So some of the tasks that I did were photographing catalog items, scheduling model castings, and a lot of sample trafficking. But then I went back into science and figured that'd be a good fit for me, but that didn't work, but I'll get to that. After I transferred home, after switching my major and whatnot, I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just started emailing people, sending my resume anywhere and everywhere. I started Googling, and I applied to 11 internships. I didn't know that I was going to hear back from any of them, but I actually had 2 interviews, not really having much experience. And that convinced me that it was the right move for me to transfer home, stay home, and really pursue this. So I landed an internship at Nanette Lepore. I was a public relations intern, and my duties were searching fashion sites, searching Google for mentions of the brand so that I could relay what I found to the public relations manager in case anything was incorrect that they needed to go and correct in the media. I did a lot of sample trafficking where I would send samples to celebrities, respond to editor requests, and it's kind of cool when you do stuff like that and you see your work featured in magazines of something that you thought would be a great fit to send. This was my third internship at Liberty Fairs, which is a trade show company. I don't know. A trade show is where buyers from different stores go to select the merchandise that they want to see in the stores, that they want to sell to their customers. This was really interesting because it's a startup company. I actually didn't know that I was going to be interning here, but a friend of mine relayed this to me and was like, I think you'd be good, send your resume, go for an interview. And I'm like, okay, great. It's really important to network with your peers, friends, family. I know you go to family parties and everyone asks you, what do you want to do? And you don't know. But it's really great to tell people what you're interested in because you never know who they know. Some of my duties here were a little different than my other internships. I executed and managed call campaigns. I would be calling buyers, telling them about the show, why they should register, really just spreading the publicity because it was a really up and coming thing. I booked a lot of venues for the trade shows and I planned after parties, which was fun. This was my, I'm losing count, fourth internship, I believe. It was at Alice and Olivia. It was during the winter, during our winter break. You have 6 weeks. It's a great time if you're not going home and working and everything to seek out an internship. That's exactly what I did. I had no idea that they were even posting about this. So what I did was I went online and I found an old post and I emailed them asking if they needed winter interns. And they were like, oh, we don't normally do a winter internship, but we would really love your help. And it's just really great to be proactive and persistent about everything and to go out there and, seek opportunities that aren't being offered. This internship I actually did for credit. Last spring I worked at DVF. I don't know if you guys have ever heard, she had a reality show on E! This past year. I was a PR intern and I did a lot of sample trafficking. A lot of sample trafficking. It was a lot of long hours and I wasn't being paid, so that was bad. But a lot of long hours, a lot of dedication. But you always, no matter how menial a task is in an internship, it's really important that you always present yourself in a happy, motivated, energetic way. A lot of things were very particular about this company because it's such a large global brand that I had to always make sure that everything I was doing was very, 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 very carefully overlooked. So I took a course called Advanced PR, which in Advanced PR you actually plan an event, which looks great to put on your resume. Even though it's a course, you're planning an event, so you can put it on your resume. And I also took a social media course in which I actually helped the school prepare and propose innovative content to engage you guys in following them and learning about the different things that they post. This internship I also did for credit. This past summer, I worked at an agency. Considering I've always been at a brand doing in-house PR, it was different to go to an agency and see how they operate versus being in-house just working with one brand. So over the summer I was working with a few different brands, and what I realized is that I don't like working at an agency. I prefer to be in-house, to have everything under one belt versus working with brands that I didn't even like. And It's really important that you discover all your options and, take a dip in each field. This internship at Saint Laurent I did this past winter. Once again, they weren't offering, so I actually went online and I found an old email again, and I emailed them. And they were like, "Oh, we'd love to have you in for an interview. We're not really offering a winter internship, but once again, we would love your help." And I had the same tasks pretty much with sample trafficking and whatnot. What was really interesting with this internship was a lot of it was digital. I had to account for all the digital press. And this is a global brand, so considering the amount of press in an hour, imagine working all day. I actually worked my hardest, I'd have to say, at this internship. It wasn't paid, it wasn't credited, but I learned a lot. And considering it's really prominent, brand, everything was so particular that I'd have to okay it with everyone, because the work that I physically did, putting together PowerPoints, would be sent to France. And I couldn't send something to France that was inaccurate or didn't go along with brand standards, so I had to double check myself a lot. So how I search for internships. I decide where I want to work. I do a Google search. And if nothing comes up, then I dig deeper. I look for a direct contact email. And if I can't find that, here's a really interesting tip. I'll go on LinkedIn and I'll search for the position that I would want as an entry-level position. So, for example, a PR assistant or even a PR manager. And I'll get their full name and then I'll decipher the email chain. So, for example, @stack.edu is like an email chain, and I would insert a name that I found into the email chain, and I would continue to play around with it until my email would send. So, for example, if I'm trying to contact myself, I would do sriggi@stack.edu, or I would do Samantha.Riggi. Are you following my trend? And I maybe sent 20 emails one time trying to decipher an email chain, but it worked. I mean, as long as you can decipher the email chain, it's for companies, it's pretty general. It's usually at something.com or .net or whatnot. A lot of times you can find it on Google, but if you can, it really doesn't hurt to play around with the email address. And then I'll send an email, and I always follow up with my direct emails within 2 weeks. Even if they don't answer me, I follow up in 2 weeks. People love persistence. This is an example of my first internship, my second actually, at Nanette Lepore. I sent her over my resume, and it's just like a general quick response, Sometimes people are in a hurry and aren't really enthusiastic about things. So I didn't really know how I felt about this. She sent me one line back. "Hope you had a good weekend. I received your resume. Would you be able to come in for an interview this week? Would love to meet you." And I was like, okay, thank you for your interest. I'd be pleased to come in for an interview. How does Wednesday work for you? It was very quick, nothing, no long paragraphs. It was, back and forth. I went for my interview, got the internship. Now this is the email that I did for my last internship at Saint Laurent. "Good morning, Lillian. Hope this finds you well. I'm in the process of seeking out a public relations holiday internship. I will be available 3 days a week during my winter intersession. Based on my combination of education and experience, I believe I am well prepared for this position. My work experience in the fashion industry will allow me to immediately contribute to your team. I have attached my resume. I welcome the opportunity to discuss my qualifications with you further, and I will contact you within 2 weeks to follow up. Thank you for your consideration. I look forward to speaking with you. Best, Samantha Riggi. It's always important to enter an email greeting them, good morning, good afternoon, hello, and then as soon as you open your body, to also, not just be like, I'm looking for this, and this. You want to open up discussion. I hope this finds you well. I hope you're doing well. And then you want to tell them why you're emailing them. And if it's for an internship, you want to give them, or even a job, you want to give them the dates that you'll be available, the days of the week. You don't want them to have to sit there and ask you all these questions. You want to give them as much information as possible, and they could do whatever they want with it. You want to tell them why you feel, let me go to the next slide, I explain this. So yeah, warm opening, we went through that. Availability. And since we're talking about internships, whether you can receive school credit or you can't. A lot of internships nowadays require school credit, but not always. I've done a lot of my internships without school credit. You want to tell them why you're qualified, why you feel you'd fit the position. And something I love to say is I welcome the opportunity to discuss my qualifications with you further because it opens dialogue. And you must thank them. And I always close with, I look forward to being in contact, because instead of saying, I hope to hear from you soon, you kind of tell them that you're going to be in contact with them, And I always sign off with best regards. It's my thing. So how I prepare for interviews: research. It's crucial. You don't want to walk into an interview and have them ask you, oh, so what do you know about Michael Kors, and not know what to say. It's really crucial that you research current information of what's going on in the company now, what went on a month ago, the history of the company, and anything else that you can find in the news, even on Wikipedia for a general search. It's great. And I'm prepared to talk about myself. I normally make a list of my strengths and weaknesses, but I always make sure that I can combat my weaknesses. So one of my weaknesses is that I don't have a formal fashion education, yet I have so many internships where I've learned so much. Also, I'm not too great in business, but I've taken this course and this course to increase my knowledge. I always look up standard interview questions, such as, tell me about yourself, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and kind of mentally prepare myself for those questions. And you must also know why you want to work there. That's a crucial question. And right before my interview, I'll buy a thank you letter, and I'll slip it right in the mail right after my interview. I'll even sometimes include something we spoke about in the email. In the interview, which really is impressive because they know that you're really interested in the internship. So there's been a lot of benefits of interning. I mean, I've gained invaluable experience. If I didn't intern and I started interning after college, I don't know. I honestly wouldn't know where I'd be. Networking is crucial. What better way to network than with getting an internship? You meet so many people, not just your supervisors, you meet other interns, you meet other people in the company, and you learn if you even like the company culture, if it's not for you, or maybe you just don't like what you're doing at all. I learned about a PR agency versus working in a PR department of a brand. I know that I don't like PR agencies, and I prefer to work at a brand, but I mean, they are a great start because they're usually smaller, and that's great for entry level. And all my practice with interning and even applying, interviewing were great for my job search that I'm currently conducting. And a lot of times I'll send people my resume and they'll respond saying, okay, when can you start? My resume has learned to speak for itself. Okay, thank you for listening. So who has questions? Any questions?
So like basically you just have to send out your email and like let them know when you're available, like to meet or when you're available to work.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's really important to be very proactive. How many of you have had an internship? How many of you are juniors? Seniors? Younger? What are you guys?
I'm a sophomore.
Well, it's good that you take time to learn about this now. It really is. It's beneficial in the end.
So like applying for an internship now, like they just have me do an online application. Like do I still get in contact with them 2 weeks later or just
So you're filling out a form, you're saying?
like I had to fill out the form and it was just like an online, it's like for Bank of America in Maryland, so like they just had eligibility standard online application.
Honestly, I would get in direct contact, because if you think about it, your resume is probably being thrown into a pile with maybe 500 other resumes, and if you can distinguish yourself and stand out and send them a direct copy of your resume, that definitely helps.
Were you ever asked to move for an internship by any chance?
I was.
Okay. How did you handle that?
I kind of told them that I wasn't ready to move across the country.
Okay.
I got asked to intern at BCBG in Los Angeles. I've never been to Los Angeles. I wasn't going to pick up and move by myself just for the summer. I mean, it would have been fun. It would have been a great experience, but I'm not comfortable with it. Were you asked to move somewhere?
Yeah, I was told that I might be asked to move if I apply for a certain internship I was thinking of going for.
If it were me, I would still apply.
Okay.
And now you can always decline.
Right.
You can always decline. That's my thing. I'll apply for maybe 10 internships at one time. Obviously, I'm not going to do all 10 of them, but it's great to have options, and you can always turn someone down. Even if something better comes along. I've accepted internships before, and I've realized that, okay, this is better than this now that I have this one, and I've declined a different one. So it's important to have options. Yeah.
Well, how would you like word like the declining part? Because I'm trying to like, cause I got another internship, and my boss like does not want me to leave, and I like tried everything to like let him know that like I can't do it because I'm doing another internship in May. So like, how would you like word that? Cause I'm having trouble with that right now currently.
You're currently doing an internship for credit?
No, this is just for experience. I'm in advertising for a newspaper.
Okay, and you want to intern at a different one this summer, or it's
Well,
overlapping?
I got another internship in May to work for the state senator, and I want to do that because I've been with this internship since September.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like they just won't let me leave
How
at
long
all.
how long do they expect you to work for?
Like ever, they don't want me to leave.
Are you
like
being paid?
now I am, but like it's literally like me and this other woman are the advertising department, and like there's a lot going on with school. I try to get out before midterms, and they're just like not letting me. It's like really bad.
See, I never accept no for an answer. So what I would say, I'd probably use school as an excuse. School's a great excuse.
Yeah, I mean,
I need to do better in school. My parents.
Yeah.
Always use your parents. Always
Yeah.
use your parents. I would say something along the lines of that.
Yeah, cause like I did meet with him like face to face, like my boss, and like I said like all the truth of as to why I'm leaving, but like he was like, oh, maybe after St. Patrick's Day, cause it's like the biggest advertising.
You need to come up with a date.
Yeah, do you think I
And
should like
tell
write a
them-
letter or talk to him in person?
A letter or an email would be great.
Okay.
Pick a specific date. Tell them. In your case, I would tell them 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Because if you tell them a month before, it sounds like they're going to harass you. So I would tell them
Yeah.
2 weeks before, this is my end date. It's been great working with you. Like, thank you. Ask for a recommendation.
Yeah.
and yeah, you're free.
Alright, yeah, 'cause he's like just not letting it happen.
I guess
Oh, it's worse.
more questions. I don't know. Yeah.
Can you explain like the email chain thing again? Like on LinkedIn?
Okay, so a perfect example. The other day I was trying to apply for a summer internship that's paid at Helmet Lang, which is a brand. So I figured, okay, their email chain would be at helmetlang.com. So I wanted to intern in the PR department. So I went on LinkedIn and I found someone in the PR department. Their first and last name showed, because sometimes on LinkedIn it's only a first initial. So I found her full name and I started playing around with her name. I would do, let me use Pamela Rodriguez at helmetlang.com. That didn't work. And like, it doesn't work because you get a bounce back email saying this is not an email. So then I would do P Rodriguez at, it takes a really long time. It really does. You literally have to play with the name as many different ways as you can. First initial, last name, Pamela.Rodriguez, P Rodriguez. You really just keep playing with it. Make a list, cross it off. It really helps. Because eventually I got through.
Yeah.
So, and they emailed me right back, so it was really great. But, yeah. Other questions?
Is it like too late of a date to apply for an internship?
For summer?
Yeah.
You're in a corporate setting,
Yeah,
so
well,
that's
obviously I
that's
had
a
to
little,
have that
yeah,
in by
that's a
certain
little
date.
different. But,
But like just in general, like say a small firm.
no.
No?
I mean, it doesn't hurt. What's the worst they're gonna say? Oh, sorry, you missed our deadline. Doesn't hurt. Any other questions?
Anybody else?
And I'd be more than happy if you guys have questions. Like, please email me. You have my email, right?
Yeah, I should.
Okay.
You can
yeah.
email.
Connect
all
with
you
me
guys.
on LinkedIn. LinkedIn. How many of you guys have LinkedIn? Who doesn't have LinkedIn? Go home and make one now. It's like the biggest resource ever. It helps you actually build your resume because it kind of has a resume outline on it, so that definitely helps. I know we have one due for our class. It'd be great for you. It's the biggest resource. There's jobs, there's internship postings. You connect with a bunch of professionals. I know that I just found out that a girl I went to high school with just became the PR assistant at Valentino. So I want an intern there really bad. So I sent her a LinkedIn message like, hey, how are you? I hope everything's well. I'm seeking out a summer internship. I'm available 4 days a week. I'd love to discuss this further with you. I'd be more than happy to send over my resume. I look forward to being in contact. Best, Sam.
Yeah, I'll send out an email to everyone with her
Or contact information.
Make a LinkedIn, I'm telling you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You find that being available, like you said, 4 days or 3 days a week, they'll still hire you? Because I was always worried that if I wasn't available,
Internships, it's rare that they're full-time unless it's summer. Are you
Okay.
looking for summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally I say, I'm usually interning about 3 days a week, so I'll say I'm available 3 days a week, possibly more with further discussion. Just kind of leave the window open. Don't ever like set yourself, I'm only available like this day and this day, unless you're really only available this day and this day.
Okay.
All good? All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sam.